Hello students. Now today I am not discussing anything about your any topic. It is only some suggestions for the fifth semester major students, especially for two papers, that is human rights and select constitution, which are optional papers for you. So far as human rights is concerned, very brief course are allotted for the fifth semester students, so you can study everything clearly. From the first chapter, you will have to study about the evolution of human rights, how the concept of human rights is developed, and it is totally a Western concept. It has developed in Western countries, so you will have to take the example from Western countries and develop your own answer. And along with that, you will have to know about what is human rights, what are its characteristics, then importance of human rights. Then three generation of human rights are there. You will have to study about three generation of human rights from introductory chapter. So, and you remember one thing, that the maximum marks in fifth semester examination is only 10. So no need to write very much elaborately, but whatever is necessary, you just write it precisely in your examination, so that everything is covered by that, but no need to write 7 or 8 pages like that. Okay, then your second chapter is about the approaches to the study of human rights. So what is approaches? That means how we look after a certain things. So far as human rights is concerned, it is already I told you that it is a Western concept. So the people belonging to other countries, people belonging to underdeveloped countries, they have adopted their own approach to read the concept of human rights. So there are generally three approaches regarding the study of human rights. First one is universal approach, that was related with the Western countries, who said that as human beings are born equal, so human rights should be common in each and every country, and so their approach is universalist approach. That means human rights is a concept which should be adopted universally for all people of all countries in all ages. So that is very briefly about universal approach. The next one is cultural relativist approach. That approach is developed actually against a protest of that universalist approach. So those who are the supporter of cultural relativist approach, they are mainly belong to third world countries. Okay, and they said that this universal approach is a Western approach, and they have imposed the concept of human rights on the people of third world countries. But actually rights differ from country to country, culture to culture, situation to situation, religion to religion, economic prosperity, everything should be taken into consideration before develop the concept of human rights, or before develop the list of human rights. So cultural relativist approach, they put stress on the fact that human rights varies. It is not universal, it is not static. It varies from country to country. Whatever is regarded as human rights in any advanced country may not be treated as a human rights in a backward country. So they said that the universal approach of human rights is not correct. Human rights should be differ from country to country, place to place, situation to situation, culture to culture, religion, civilization, etc. Everything are taken into consideration for that. And next approach is Marxist approach. So far as Marxist approach is concerned, here you remember one thing, that Marx is very much in favor of that working class or labor class people. So his human rights concept is also developed from that angle. He said that human rights concept has developed by the Western countries, but actually exploitation is going on. So proper human rights is to emancipation of labor class. There should not be any class distinction, etc., etc. So he has described human rights from that angle. So you will have to study about three approaches of human rights. Then there are Universal Declaration of Human Rights, what UNO has adopted, and when it has adopted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and there are 30 articles, I think, in that declaration. So you will try to remember as far as possible those rights. that is an important one. Then there is some optional protocol also. One is regarding political and social, another one is economic and cultural. So you study about those protocol also. Then Human Rights Council is there. You will have to study about Human Rights Council. It is an organization and it has some powers and functions also. Then you will have to study about Human Rights Council and that CEDAW. That means in Beijing, Women's Conference took place and they have taken the resolution. So that you will have to study what they have taken, what are the resolution in that Women Conference, everything. Then next one is child rights. You will have to study that child rights also. Very simple, and these are similar and no need to worry about. So these things are there. And after that, last one is about NGO. What are the role of NGOs in the development of human rights? That may be a question. Then what are the some criticism may also be there regarding the role of NGO, and they have specifically asked you to study about 3 NGO. One is Amnesty International, next one is Red Cross Society, and another one is Human Rights Watch. So all these things are actually developed in the Western countries, but they are working for the protection of human rights, especially for the protection of prisoners' rights, and the rights, and they look after the violation of human rights in various countries, and they publish their own reports. So these and Red Cross is there. It is very much helpful for the people in various distress, when various distress are faced by the people. So you will have to study about the origin and the role and functions of these 3 in NGOs, that means non-governmental institutions. So this is in brief about the human rights topic, and very simple. You can study yourself. In spite of that, I am asking you, if you find any difficulty with any topic, you may inform me, you may write me, so that I can try to explain that one. And next one is Select Constitution, and from Select Constitution you will have to study only 2 constitutions, British Constitution and American Constitution. And they have clearly divided the topic also from British Constitution and American Constitution. Whoever are familiar with Indian Constitution, for them it will be easier to study about British Constitution, because the constitution makers of India, they have adopted many things from British Constitution, and we have adopted something from American Constitution also. So if we got a proper idea of Indian Constitution, that will be also helpful for studying both British and American Constitution. From British Constitution, all of you are aware of the fact that they have no written constitution. So from that standpoint, you may have to study about sources of British Constitution. What are those sources on which they run the administration of the country? Then another thing is very important from British Constitution, that is customs and convention. What is convention? What is the rule of convention in British political system? Then what are the sanctions behind the convention? That means why people obey the convention though they are not written anywhere. These are the age-old traditions, customs which the people are following from time immemorial without asking any question. So from convention you will have, then the short question maybe they are about differences between law and convention, etc. Then another significant area from British Constitution is rule of law. Rule of law is practiced in almost all the countries, but in Great Britain it has some special significance or 3 special meaning. So you will have to you will have to know about what is rule of law and how it has defined in Great Britain, and what are the exceptions of the rule of law. That means whether rule of law is clearly following in Great Britain or not. That also you will have to study. Okay, then monarchy is there. From monarchy, you will have to study about the differences between king and crown, because at one time they were absolute monarchy and now they have constitutional monarchy. So what is the difference between king and crown? King is a person and crown is an institution. From that point of view, then powers and functions of the king and rule, then prime minister, his powers and functions, cabinet, and parliament, House of Commons and House of Lords, etc. These are in national party system from Great Britain, and from America you have to study about the features of US Constitution, then federal setup, what are the causes for increasing the power of central government in USA, then president, his election process and his impeachment process, as well as powers and functions of the president. But here you remember, you study another thing, that relation between president and US Congress, and how the president influenced the lawmaking power of the Congress. This is an important question you may study or you may see. Then powers and functions of US Congress, which is the legislature of America. Then Senate, which is regarded as the most powerful second chamber in the world. Why it is most powerful? Then Supreme Court, American Supreme Court is very important because it is regarded as the third chamber of American Congress. Why? What are its powers and functions, etc. So these are, I think, sufficient from America also, and there are some question of comparison, three comparison they have specifically given. One is with one is, I think, Senate and House of Lords, Prime Minister, President. This will be easy. If you find any difficulty, you may inform me. And another thing is that constitutionalism. What is constitutionalism? What are the characteristics of constitution from introductory chapter? If you study it, it will be very much helpful to you. So if you find any difficulties from these two papers, you may inform me. And in another, what I can say, that another video I will discuss about other two papers, that is the classical theory and that classical thinkers and Indian thinkers. So thank you today.